Welcome to the Breece Hall segment. This is Fantasy Football Today. I'm Jamie, that's Dave, that's Heath, and we're talking about Dave's players that he's looking to avoid on draft day, the players he is not planning to draft. And Breece Hall has been a very fun topic of conversation for these two to debate. So let's just start right there, Dave. We can show the list of the players that you're looking to avoid, but really the headliner is obviously the guy at the top. So let's talk about Breece Hall. He is RB19, going basically the beginning part of the fourth round, 39th overall. That's not good enough for you?
No, that's not. I'd still wait a little bit longer. The back part of round 4 is where I'm going to be on Breece Hall, but at least I appreciate that his ADP is falling a little bit, and I don't know if it's because of anything I'm saying. I think it's because of the groin injury that he has, and that it's cost him a big chunk of training camp. But that doesn't help Breece Hall's cause. This is still a Jets team that wants to use 3 running backs. The coaches have said as much. Frank Reich is the new play caller there. I'm not excited about him. His track record with running backs in 10 years as a play caller is terrible. 4 times has a running back had 13-plus PPR points. 3 times with 15-plus, and once has he had a guy that's been awesome, and that was Jonathan Taylor when he was a younger player in the league. Breece Hall, obviously with the injury, questions about the offense and how much they're going to score. They've been bottom 5 in points scored 6 of the last 7 seasons. Last year, he had a workhorse role, Jamie. 17-plus touches per game, 13 PPR points per game. Half his season was a total disaster. I'm not excited about drafting him, and I don't want people to reach for him in round 3 when they start to see those running backs go off the board.
I think his ADP is absolutely perfect. So I've got him a little bit higher amongst the running backs. I've got him at 38th overall. One of my favorite Breece Hall stats, there have been 3 running backs since the start of 2022 that have seen 200 targets and averaged 6.5 yards per target. Those 3 running backs are Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, and Breece Hall. He's awesome in that role. And the coaches have said want to use 3 running backs. The offensive coordinator also recently just said Breece Hall is a bell cow. So I do think what really went wrong last year was the shape of those touches. He had more carries, he had fewer targets, and then he didn't score touchdowns. He's never really scored rushing touchdowns, but he had 9 total touchdowns 2 years ago when the offense was awful. He had 8 total touchdowns the year after that when the offense was awful. Only scored 5 last year. I think the touchdowns bounce back. The shape of those touches change a little bit with Braylon Allen staying healthy, so you use him more on the early downs in the trap back role, use Breece Hall more on passing downs role. Would not be surprised at all if Breece Hall's a top 12 running back.
I'll add this. I do think the early schedule is favorable for the Jets, so if you already have Breece Hall on your team and you're a little nervous. No, I'm just saying. If you've got him and you're a little bit nervous, you can enjoy the first part of the season and then sell high on Breece Hall when the schedule gets worse.
This guy, I think, is relatively obvious. TreVeyon Henderson, he's going as RB26, 66th overall.
That's too soon.
The thing that's crazy to me is that Ramondre Stevenson is going 3 running back spots later and 13 picks overall later based on his ADP.
Think about where we were last year with TreVeyon Henderson. Every report out of New England was positive, and we were all excited. All 3 of us were really into
I was taking him in round 3.
Yeah.
Stupid I was.
You were really into him. I was taking him around 4. Where were you taking TreVeyon?
Behind Jamie.
Yeah. So, Heath obviously is the genius here when it comes to TreVeyon Henderson. And then what happened? He really wasn't that great. And honestly, neither was Ramondre Stevenson until injuries came into play. When Ramondre Stevenson got hurt in the middle of the year, we saw great numbers from TreVeyon Henderson, but otherwise, he wasn't really that great. And Ramondre didn't really step up until the end of the year when they just gave him all the work. This year, the reports out of training camp are not positive for TreVeyon Henderson. He hasn't improved in pass protection. His vision is still a question mark. Meanwhile, Ramondre Stevenson getting all the reps with the first-team offense, having a bigger role in the red zone offense. I can't believe the words are coming out of my mouth, but I'd much rather have Ramondre Stevenson than TreVeyon Henderson. Henderson's being drafted at least 1 full round too soon, if not 2 full rounds. Don't go after the hype on this second-year running back. Ramondre is the safer pick.
I think our podcast host, hosts the show during the season on this network on Tuesdays, Adam Azer, says it best. If you want a similar profile of a player, just wait 2 rounds and take Blake Corum. Wait and take Kyle Monangai. They're injury lottery tickets that if the starter gets hurt, you're going to want that player. TreVeyon was awesome in the 3 games that Ramondre missed last year, but otherwise struggled when Ramondre was healthy. All right, let's combine 2 receivers that you have on your list, and Carnell Tate and DK Metcalf, because they are going back-to-back. So not necessarily in their overall picks. Tate is 90.5 overall. Oh, no, they are 90.5 and 90.8. So they're basically right back-to-back. Wide receiver 35 for Tate, wide receiver 36 for Metcalf. Are we overreacting a little bit to the preseason for the Titans?
I don't think so. I think, and this doesn't have as much to do with Carnell Tate as it does Cam Ward and the rest of this Tennessee offense. Cam Ward looks terrible. He's completed 0 of 6 passes of 10+ air yards so far. Air yards. What did I say? A yards. A yards. Air yards.
Yeah.
So far this preseason. One of those included a drop from Tate, which is problematic. I don't hate the ADP for Carnell Tate at 90.5, but you should try and get him a little bit lower than that in that round 9-10 range. And that's where I'd have DK Metcalf as well. Crowded receiving core now in Pittsburgh with Michael Pittman there. I like the draft pick that they have, Jeremy Bernard. Plus, Roman Wilson, once upon a time, was one of my favorite rookies coming out. He started to step up as well. I think there's just more options and more short area options for Aaron Rodgers to go to that will not only hurt DK Metcalf, but also the running backs. I don't know if the running backs get the same type of target share that they had last year because of Pittman, because of Bernard, and because of Roman Wilson all being there to take work away from them.
I think part of it is the injuries for both Metcalf and Pittman. They haven't been practicing, so we haven't got to see what. Oh, definitely. But I think just the other guys stepping up. I think just the two starters, or quote unquote starters, not being there. All right, we're gonna let you guys fight again because we got Kyle Pitts coming up here. So Kyle Pitts is tight end 5. I know that's fine for you. It's a little too soon for me. I like Laporta better. I know you'd like Laporta better as well. But you have Tucker Kraft in there also. So Kyle Pitts is somebody you've been very adamant about that you're not drafting.
Outside of a 5-game span last year when Drake London was hurt, this tight end's averaged around 10 PPR points per game, and there have been full seasons where he's averaged less than that. Now, he was awesome in those 5 games without Drake London, but last time I checked, Drake London is healthy, and now it looks like we're going to get the quarterback that we want in Atlanta. We're going to get Michael Penix Jr. as the guy under center there, and not Tua Tagovailoa. I actually was encouraged by what I saw from Pitts with Tua under center because Tua was getting rid of the ball so fast. Penix won't do that. Penix will look downfield a little bit longer, and I don't know if Pitts is going to be the guy who's there. So I don't want to overvalue Pitts based on the fantasy points that he had as a whole last year. The name of the game here is that Drake London is the #1 target. Pitts might have the coordinator that you like, but it doesn't mean he's going to get a ton of work. And even when he has gotten a decent amount of targets for a tight end, it hasn't always resulted in consistent fantasy points. I think he's closer to tight end 10 than tight end 5.
He had an awesome rookie season, and he scored 1 touchdown, and so it didn't look that good in terms of fantasy points. But it was one of the best rookie seasons that we've seen. He got hurt, had the PCL injury. We've seen that bother guys for multiple years. He wasn't quite as good. He was very good last year without Drake London. That's true. I don't think, based on what that offensive line looked like in front of Tua, that Michael Penix is going to have the option to hold on to the ball for a long time. And I do think the offensive coordinator matters. In the Kevin Stefanski, Drew Petzing system, it's not just been Harold Fannin and Trey McBride. It's been David Njoku. It was Zach Ertz when he played.
It's Austin Hooper.
It was Austin Hooper. It's been a 23% target per route run rate or higher for all of those tight ends. Kyle Pitts somehow still just 25 years old. He's still very talented. Reports from camp saying he's moving as well as he has in years. I 100% believe. I prefer him at tight end 6, but I think the ADP is too low. So I've drafted Sam Laporta in half of my drafts. In 3 of the other drafts, it's been Kyle Pitts.
I just took him in our FFT Open, picking on 6. It was a 6-7 turn. So taking him there was.
Which is his ADP.
Which is ADP, and he was my next highest tight end. I didn't love the receiver value. We only start 2 receivers in that league, so first time that I've drafted him in a league that we're playing out. So I'm excited.
I'm not in that draft.
You're not in that draft, right? I'm excited to somebody else took Laporta already, so I'm excited for him. So we'll see how he does. All right, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. It's my turn to talk about some of the players that I'm avoiding. It's very running back heavy. You can imagine Christian McCaffrey is not somebody I'll be drafting. We'll talk about why next on FFT.